By Mr. Muhammed Mustafa, who is the National President, Association of Micro Industries of Nigeria, as we continue focusing on Workers' Day. Thank you for coming on this morning.
You're welcome.
Well, the theme, incidentally, for the Workers' Day today has to do with sustainable national development. But I see in some of the flyers you have here, sustainable self-employment. What is the issue for...
I was asked to discuss job creation.
Yeah, what is the issue?
To...
What is the issue for micro industries of Nigeria on this Workers' Day for you?
Thank you very much for inviting me. I think it's a privilege. Our association was born out of the concern of the government to address the opportunities at the base of the industrial pyramid, thereby creating jobs from micro and small and medium industries. That's the correlation here. And we came into being because some of us felt our aspirations are not being met by the existing associations, the stakeholder associations that are supposed to drive, the objectives and mission statements of the federal government. That's how we came.
Ever since you came into being, has any of those things changed? Have you?
Yes, I think we are trying. We have been able to make some dent, in the job creation scene. First of all, let me, as a background, let us go to the statistics. We are told by the National Bureau of Statistics that Nigeria is populated by 170 million people, and that general unemployment right now is running at 23.9%, which means we have 40 million people that are unemployed. Youth unemployment represents 38%, which is 64 million. 54 million young men who are unemployed. That, when you calculate, you find it represents about 4 West African countries. The population of 4 West African countries have nothing to do.
You're calculating that based on the general population figures, but
yes.
We have to differentiate between those who can work and those who can't. So the population of that might be much smaller.
That is true. But we are using figures that are released, provided by the Bureau of Statistics. We don't have access to those figures, but we have to work with them. I'm saying that the enormity of the problem is that if you have 4 countries, that have nothing to do, then you are more or less sitting on a powder keg. Then we're saying that...
Can we exactly say that we have the size of 4 countries, especially if you look at that point wherein if it's the entire population, what about, is it the workforce or those who can or are eligible to work? Or are you calculating based
those
on
who have no job
population?
at all? 64 million.
Those who have no job at all, not even the ones that are underemployed?
No, not that. That's what they tell us. And we think it is true. Because the Minister of the Economy, from time to time, keeps reminding us that on an annual basis, 1.8 million, of our youths who pass through the tertiary, institution come into the job market on an annual basis. That is a very serious problem. But from time to time, we also find that some of us who should know better find reason to be merry. They are celebrating, dancing, and singing. You don't know what the circus is about. So this is our concern. We say there are opportunities in this country to create jobs, but government is not doing it right. One, you find ideas, they don't grow on trees. It is the elites who formulate, ideas at the top, but they have to come down and sow it, water it, nurture it, for it to grow. On the other hand, government is always saying we need the private sector to participate. Yes, that is so. You can't do things, alone. But what we are asking, what incentives have you given for these stakeholder associations to grow and be able to, push, drive that mission?
Shed some light on this for us. I mean, are you asking that the government has got to create jobs or the enabling environment for jobs to thrive?
One, governments are supposed to create an enabling environment so that the private sector can grow their businesses, which will, produce vacancies and so on. Job creation becomes an incidental. For example, in the private sector, there is no entrepreneur who wants to come out and create jobs. No. His business is to make profit. But government has an obligation to make it possible for the private sector to make profit so that the business can grow, and by the time it begins to expand, you are meeting demands.
And job creation?
Job creation, follows.
Happens in the process. Now, I'm taking a look at some of your flyers because it would seem that these are people who are self-employed, possibly in the process employing one or two more people in the process.
Yeah.
And it would seem that these are ideas that even the federal government is trying to encourage, what we say with UWIN and what have you. Yeah. If you also look at this, you're talking about, you said the priority of MSMEs is not business loans, which is something that government also gives a lot, because oftentimes people say that the banks do not support micro and small businesses, and oftentimes you find that government directly has to maybe form cooperative societies and give these people money. You say it's not business loans, you say it's guaranteed patronage. What has been your experience in terms of coming to this particular conclusion?
Very good. One strategy that has a lot of potentials is the skill acquisition program. But we are saying that of the state governments, federal government at every level, we are saying what will happen to the graduates of this program after the exit. We all know about skill acquisition. It has been there for many, many years before now. There's nothing new about it. But when they graduate, you give them money. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes you give them equipment. And it's bye-bye. They now go into the market to compete with imported, goods to sell in the same market, which is unfair competition. We are saying what the small business person actually needs is patronage, guaranteed by government, because that is how it is done in other countries. The countries we now refer to as, Asian giants, Singapore, blah, 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 they have 40% reserved of government procurement that must be supplied by the small business community.